According to experts, a jury that found Amber Heard guilty of defaming ex-husband Johnny Depp has ordered her to pay $15 million in damages, posing financial risks for the 36-year-old actress. Although Heard's net worth is unknown, she has earned millions of dollars for her work in television and films such as Aquaman and Aquaman 2. After their 2016 divorce, she received a $7 million settlement from Depp, which she pledged to donate to charities such as the American Civil Liberties Union. During the trial, she stated that she had yet to fulfill her pledge due to Depp's lawsuit. According to Newsweek, testimony during the trial suggested that Heard's career had stalled due to her legal battle with Depp. This raises the question of whether Heard's pockets are deep enough to cover the damages, which included $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages, the latter of which was reduced to Virginia's punitive damages cap of $350,000. In the lawsuit, the jury also awarded Heard $2 million. Elaine Charleston-Bretoff, Heard's attorney, told the court that her client cannot afford to pay the $10.35 million judgment Today program. Oh no, certainly not. Bretoff also stated that Heard intends to appeal the ruling, despite the fact that he did not address Heard's financial options in relation to the judgment. While Heard can appeal the verdict, she may be required to post a bond for the full $10.35 million judgment plus interest as the appeal proceeds, according to Spurgeon Law Group in Lexington, Kentucky attorney Sandra Spurgeon. If the winning party intends to execute the judgment and the individual does not have the ability to pay the judgment and no ability to post a bond, Spurgeon told CBS Money Watch. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Depp, 58, earned up to $650 million over a 13-year period. Nonetheless, a former manager and agent testified during the trial that his spending, such as $300,000 per month on full-time employees, has eroded his wealth over time. Heard did not address the verdict's financial terms in a statement posted on Twitter on Wednesday, in which he expressed disappointment with the jury's decision. Following the highly publicized trial, Heard's options are as follows. As previously stated, Heard could appeal the verdict in the hopes of obtaining a more favorable judgment and lowering the payment. If she wants to stay the execution of the $10.35 million judgment, she will almost certainly have to post a bond, according to Brian Pastor, an Atlanta attorney who specializes in litigation and securities and has experience dealing with judgments. Heard could also choose not to post a bond, which would allow Depp to carry out the judgment, he said. According to legal experts, if Heard decides not to appeal but does not have enough money to pay the judgment, her current and future wages could be garnished. The question is whether she will say, "Look, I don't have it, it's not there, you can check my bank accounts, and then we can talk about garnishing her wages." Jessica Levinson, a legal contributor for CBS News, stated, "That's not an unusual situation where somebody says, I can't fulfill this, and so I certainly think because she has earning potential," she said, adding that a portion of her wages could be garnished as a result. Pastor speculated that Depp might seek more than her salary. He could also collect by seizing her real estate, jewelry, and other valuables, though some assets such as a retirement accounts would be protected. "I would say maximize everything in a retirement account immediately," Pastor said, as if he were advising Heard. Heard can also file for bankruptcy, but she may not be able to discharge the $10.35 million debt through insolvency, according to Pastor. This is due to a provision in the bankruptcy law that exempts debts resulting from willful and malicious injury by the debtor to another party. The jury form said defamation with malice. Pastor explained, "You can't do anything with malice unless you have the intent. In my opinion, that is highly likely to apply." Pastor noted that Depp would need to raise an objection to her attempt to discharge the debt through bankruptcy, citing this section of the law. In such a case, he may decide against objecting. The overarching issue with someone like Depp is that you want to go back to making movies that make you a huge payday, and thus the most important thing for you is your ability to get a paycheck for $10, $20, $30 million. Pastor explained, ticket buyers may be put off by his pursuit of her for that $10.3 million. Depp could also choose not to execute the judgment, effectively waiving the monetary damages according to Spurgeon. He's in the driver's seat right now, she said, adding that Depp could also negotiate a lower fee with Heard. If Heard files an appeal, as she is rumored to do, that could be a negotiating point for a lower payment or dropping the case entirely. Pastor said, in the court of public opinion, he's already won. He said, perhaps he's willing to say, if you drop the appeal, I'll drop the judgment. Depp did not say whether he intends to pursue the monetary judgment against Heard in his Instagram comment following the verdict. The goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth regardless of the outcome, he wrote. I feel at peace knowing I have finally accomplished that. He added, that's all we've got for now. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button.